Hi, Pisces, Healing Grasshopper here to do your June 2024 reading. We're going to start really quickly with the astrology notes that I promised I would remind you about in the beginning of the year. If you haven't seen your yearly reading, go have a look. I'm going to leave a link to that video in the description below. It's still worth seeing if you haven't seen it because there's a lot of good information there, and some of it very comforting and helpful. I think you'll find so. Anyway, so in June, Saturn is going to go retrograde on the 29th, and it's going to end on November 15th. So this will be a time to examine the way you've been doing things in all areas of your life, especially how it fits in the new auspicious energies. Saturn is our friend here helping us clean house and set up shop. This might require a generous amount of introspection and alone time. At times, it may be frustrating and discouraging, as Saturn will feel like a disruption, but you must remember that Saturn is here to clear the ground to help us build your new life. So, as most of us know already, if you've been watching this channel, we've been talking about Pluto entering Aquarius. Right now, Pluto is retrograding in Capricorn for a while, and we'll go back into Aquarius later in the year. But for now, discussing the Pluto uh, entering Aquarius has presented us since January with a new opportunity to change our lives and to improve our lives for the better, um, as well as spiritual ascension for those who choose to, and that kind of thing. This is all good improvements in our lives. But of course, Saturn is here to help us do the heavy lifting, right? And Saturn can all often feel like, like the stern parent that comes to tell us to clean up our rooms or eat our vegetables, where, the tasks that were put in front of us aren't always fun, but they're necessary to build our new lives, right? Um, so we can be thankful that Saturn's here because Saturn is going to clear the way for us. It would be very difficult for us to break ground on our new lives without Saturn. So um, we should be looking at it in a positive way instead of groaning at Saturn, like many people often do, including me. You know, you hear Saturn and they're like, "Oh God," but yeah, if we change our perspective, we see Saturn is not so terrible. Okay, so we've got our middle card. Okay, let's see what we got here. King of Wands. Yeah, see, it's a very good card to start with, and definitely, fits the narrative of starting something new. The King of Wands is the ultimate entrepreneur card. I mean, he's more than just an entrepreneur, but I call him the entrepreneur, and many other people do because he represents an energy of not being afraid to break ground on something new and go off on one's own and, build upon one's own uh, dreams and aspirations as opposed to following someone else's, right? Like you would do in a 9 to 5 job. That's contributing to someone else's idea, someone else's agenda. right? But King of Wands is very much about going his own way. Um, but that this doesn't exclude nine to fivers. Um, this just means one who is not a sheep, right? This is one who is very familiar with who he is. He knows his worth. He understands his skills and abilities and how to contribute them to a path to success. So here we have the Page of Cups. That is goes very well with the King of Wands because the Page of Cups is um, present and really assessing his desires and his dreams. The Page of Cups is not setting his dreams to the side. Going back to the nine to five thought, like a lot of people who are in their nine to five grind um, will kind of set their dreams on the back burner, right? They're going to work every day, but they've got this dream of opening a bakery, let's say. But the logistics of that and the risk and all of that is so overwhelming and intimidating that you put it on the back burner and you continue with what's comfortable, which is your nine to five job, let's say. The King of Wands is not afraid of looking at and is enthusiastic about, oh, bakery, yes, let's start that. And the Page of Cups here really giving space in his heart and minds for that dream and not having it on the back burner, having it in the forefront and really assessing it. Four of Swords is about, again, you're not jumping at this dream right away. You're taking your time at really assessing the dream, putting everything together. This is, um, again, for those of you in the nine to five track, coming home, having your dinner, but then sitting down in front of the computer and, you know, start researching, maybe use baking equipment, use mixers, that kind of thing. Looking at possible locations, that kind of thing. You're not making the jump yet, but you're taking it seriously, but doing it within the safety of your own mind and your own home without jumping yet, which is okay. And by the way, that's something Saturn would approve of, right? Saturn is not about go, 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 go like Mars is. Saturn is about doing things in a practical way, right? Saturn is, yes, the stern parent, but Saturn's never going to tell you, oh, that dream is stupid. Throw that dream away. Saturn's going to be like, okay, you want to do this? Then this is the methodical way of getting to where you want to go. Saturn's here to support you. So this is what Saturn is stimulating you to do, where you might not have been doing this before. You're starting to take the initial steps. Um, and there are people further along the track who have let go of their nine to five jobs already and are really inspired to start what they want to start, you know. But Saturn is putting the brakes on that a little, which is what Saturn does. Saturn is kind of the brakes and Mars is is the accelerator, right? So, but we're not being stimulated by Mars right now, it's Saturn. So it's kind of like, okay, yes, but let's take this slowly and assess things first so that we don't get ourselves into any kind of pickles. Page of Swords is again about putting things together, thinking about, starting to think about how you can put this together. There's no action yet, right? This is the King of Wands wanting to take action, but there's a little bit of break here, putting our foot on the brake and assessing things. Queen of Pentacles is more of, you know, Saturn putting things even harder on the brake. Pentacles are the slowest out of all of the the elements here, where you have fire, you have water here, and air. The earth is very Saturnian. This is assessing things, but the Queen of Pentacles, like the King of Wands, are both very confident in their convictions. But the Queen of Pentacles is a very good balance to the King of Wands, where the Queen of Pentacles is like, yeah, I hear you, fire, but let's really examine this first before we start, before we go, hop in that chariot. Five of Pentacles, more earth energy. This is your doubts. This can, Five of Pentacles all often comes out when you're feeling, left out in the cold and dejected and that kind of thing, but not in this context. This is solely one's fear, especially when it's coming under the Four of Swords here. This is you in your head here, which is okay. And by the way, that's another thing Saturn does, is that Saturn will always will present Murphy's Law to you all the time, right? Wait a minute, but what if this happens? All of the caveats that you have to look at, Saturn is really going to present to you, where you're going to have to assess the risks, which again is a good thing, right? You want to think about those things before they happen and be prepared for them, and even prevents the pitfalls from happening. So I mean, those for those of you who are like, "Oh, this is a bummer," sometimes I'll get people who are like, I don't remember what reading it was for, but there was someone. I was reading from my notes on the astrology, and the beginning of this year is very much like the whole Saturnian thing. Like, we've got to assess things. It's the difficult part of an exciting venture. When you're first starting something, it's not as fun as, because you're still unpacking things and figuring things out and that kind of thing. So there was someone who commented like, "Wow, this is really bad." I was like, "What? It's not bad." Um, because I had started talking about, things that we're going to have to deal with. And then the second half of the reading was, you know, light and exciting, but um bear with me because, you know, life isn't always rainbows and lollipops, and I'm going to tell you right now that my readings aren't always going to be like, oh, he loves you and he's coming back to you, or, oh, you're going to win the lottery tomorrow. There are other readers who are trying to deliver that kind of rainbows and lollipops all the time. And that's me, not me. I'm going to tell you the way I see things and the way spirit tells me that they're seeing it from their vantage point. And we all know that life isn't always easy. But we are always together going to try and navigate through things so that we get the best results, right? So that's why we're here, not for rainbows and lollipops. It's not always true. Um, but then in my readings, when the rainbows and lollipops come, then it's like fireworks and confetti, fabulous. Anyway, and it's real, right? It's not me blowing smoke up your ass. Anyway, Eight of Cups. Yeah, so we're continuing this feeling of, oh, what am I going to do? But it's also after you're going through this feeling of how's it going to work? This is very scary. At some point, you're going to feel like, okay, I'm ready to take the next step. I'm ready to walk away from my old life and start something new. You see the progression of what I'm talking about? The story's starting to change now. Here we are with the Hermit, which is introspection, right? And we talked about the Saturn in the Saturn goes retrograde notes that I said this might require a generous amount of introspection and alone time. Here it is, the Hermit, right? Because when we want to build a new life, we can't have a whole lot of distractions and people. And that's another thing, by the way. If you have a new idea, you're going to keep it to yourself, right? You're not going to bring anyone else's energy into your idea. Even if it's your spouse or your close loved ones, you're going to keep this to yourself a little bit before. Of course, when it's time to take the leap, you're going to discuss it with your loved ones, with your spouse. Absolutely. But what I'm saying is, and you're going to hear me talk about this every now and then, it's very, very important when you have an idea to really think and feel it through first before you bring someone else's energy into your gestating dream, right? Because if you bring someone else's energy into they have their own fears, they have their own limiting beliefs, they have their own thoughts about it, and you don't want to add that to your own fears and doubts and confusion and all of that. You want to work through that yourself, which is what the Hermit is saying, by yourself. This is the early stages. You need to be in Hermit mode, not in Three of Cups mode, right? Three of Cups are the three women, toasting to each other. That's when, you're celebrating and you're communing and that kind of thing, but that's not the stage that you're in right now, okay? Four of Cups. I am going to hold off on that for a moment. Let's see. All of them. Good Lord. Okay, so these are the outcome cards. Okay. Your outcome cards here are the Star and the King of Swords. So, right. We're going to put these aside for a moment. We're going to get to them. Again, going to the Hermit here, which goes, I get the Four of Cups now. While you're in Hermit mode, You can put things aside and take notes. It's all right not to react to things right away, right? Four of Cups, right? And it's in this line here. Four of Cups is saying quite a bit here, where you have this line here of uncertainty, of introspection, and really observing this uncertainty that you're in, right? Which can be fears and doubts and assessing risks, which can be very scary. But while you're in this mode, you're here um, being presented with ideas. This can be from other people, this can be from things um, that you might see on TV, you read in an article, that kind of thing, that you may that may resonate with you, but you're waving it off because you're so immersed in these doubts, right? Which, by the way, doubts aren't always a bad thing. Doubts are all part of Saturnian energy, right? Assessing risk is important here. So here you are possibly missing cues because you're in this Saturnian cycle, this Saturnian, I don't know, mode of observation, if you want to call it. So it might be wise for you to be not to reject things right away. If you come across something that, let's say you're watching a video and they're talking about something that they've done in their business that kind of momentarily raises a light bulb in your head, but don't swat it away so quickly, is what I'm saying. Take note of it, you know, put it somewhere where you can assess it later because it might be important. Um, don't allow yourself to be pessimistic, too. The star here talks about your your potential and what your future is promising you. The King of Swords is about calmly and rationally sorting through what serves you and what doesn't, right? Which again fits in this hermit Saturnian mode that we're talking about, right? You're sorting through what's not working and what's not, and how to proceed forward um, in the best way possible. Okay. So here we have Ten of Swords, the Sun, and the Seven of Cups, right? Seven of Cups, we're not surprised to see, right? Because Seven of Cups, this guy is being presented with an overwhelming amount of choices here, right? Over the Four of Cups here, right? We're talking about be sure not to dismiss things so quickly. It's because you're going to be bombarded with so many ideas that may or may not fit with your path forward. But your King of Swords mode is going to help you sort through all of that, so I wouldn't worry about it. Ten of Swords is about, and look, I've placed it over the Eight of Cups. These two go very well together in walking away from what doesn't serve you, right? What has harmed you and not been very pleasant or productive in your life. You're moving towards the sun, right? And it's a beautiful thing here that you have the sun and the star here, which talks about wishes granted, right? Oh, another element we have here, I forgot who I was talking to, Pisces. Page of Cups, very Piscean. And the Seven of Cups, very Piscean, right? Pisceans can, you guys are known as the dreamer, and you are very easily overwhelmed with Seven of Cups energy, right? Because you are the dreamers. You are forever bombarded with ideas. Some of the best inventors were Pisceans. So, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just that sometimes it can be very overwhelming and can get in the way of progress if you let it. But we're not going to let that because we're going to go into our King of Swords mode where we're able to sort through everything. I think we're done with this deck, right? Clarification now. Okay, let's see. So you see what I'm talking about, how things can start a little difficult because, again, life isn't easy. We've got challenges in life. So my readings will often um, acknowledge is a good word. Acknowledge the challenges, and then we sort through them and we see that the challenges are not so terrible. Okay. Yes. So the Nine of Wands talks about um, that this Spirit's saying that none of this is supposed to be easy, right? This is, listen, Saturn is shouting at you through this whole reading. It's very Saturnian. Um, and this card is especially is very much like, whew, hard work, but you will get somewhere, right? How do we know that? Because we've got the sun and the star here. Reversed? No. Okay. We've got another Piscean card here. We have the Six of Cups, which, okay, we're going to come back to the Six of Cups because it can mean many things. The Emperor, very good. We have more of these? Okay. I'm very happy to see the Two of Wands here. One more, please. Okay. So the Two of Wands talks about through all of this confusion that I spoke of, eventually, again, King of Swords is very key here. Through your going through your hermit mode and sorting through your options and your fears and acknowledging your opportunities and all of that, managing it all, you are at some points going to find resolution. At some points in the next handful of months, through all of your doubts and fears, they're going to slowly dissolve. And then your path forward is going to materialize. And that's what Two of Wands is talking about. Two of Wands, all of the twos are about choices. Two of Wands is about, remember we talked about the King of Wands, this is fire and action and not being afraid to take action. And more than that, being enthusiastic about moving forward. But the Two of Wands is about, excuse me, choosing a path, choosing an option, an action. Here is sorting through things and being exhausted. This is gaining your second win and realizing, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I see it clearly now. And I see how I can be successful too, which is important. Page of Wands, what did I say? This is the same energy where this is after the Two of Wands here, where he's chosen an action. And Page of Wands is you really starting to assess that choice and how you're going to move forward and being confident about that choice. Reversed? This is reversed. Okay. Yeah, see, and it's right under. Okay. The Seven of Pentacles under the Nine of Wands. Seven of Pentacles reversed. This is more of the same energy of at some point you're going to be exasperated and frustrated with this this vetting process that you're going to go through before you make this choice, right? King of Swords and Seven of Cups mode with the Hermit, right? Where you're assessing things and you're really trying to see your way forward. There's going to be a period that you may feel frustrated about it because you're not going to be able to see your path forward. But Spirit is saying that's all part of the process, and so is Saturn. This feeling, Saturn is notorious for bringing. But if you just kind of relax through it, right? Four of Swords is about relaxing and taking a step and giving yourself time to assess things, right? Once you do that and you let the anxiety wash away and you really just meditate and look at things, you're going to come to the Two of Wands feeling pretty quickly. And you're going to be able to exhale and really focus on a smart new choice. Okay, so not to worry. Remember what I said in the next coming months when you're feeling anxious or confused. Just remind yourself what I said. This is going to pass. I just need to take a beat. There's no need to rush through this process. And again, here's the Eight of Swords. No need to rush and fill ourselves with anxiety. This woman is needlessly worried. She is making mountains out of molehills in this picture. Things are not as bad as she's making them out to be, right? But again, there's no shame in this. This is a natural feeling, but it's going to pass pretty quickly. Okay? Any more of these? And have we addressed all of our cards? Yes. Oh, the Emperor. The Emperor. Oh my God, so happy to see the Emperor. So the Emperor. Oh, and then did we talk about the Six of Cups? Six of Cups is about, again, and very fitting for it to be under the Page of Cups, about your dreams. Right, but there needs to be a balance between, especially for Pisceans, the balance between um, lofty, impractical dreams and practical and attainable dreams, right? Um, and judgment and temperance come to mind too. Would have been good to see here because that talks about um, revelations and focusing on spirit, but also having a balance in your minds on how to move forward. The best way to attain a dream is through introspection and balance and assistance from spirit, right? So, Six of Cups is the nostalgia card. It's often seen as an impractical emotion, impractical dream, right? But that's not to say that Six of Cups always needs to be written off as impractical. It's just a warning not to let yourself float away too far. Emperor. The Emperor talks about as you go through this whole process, you're going to be here, which is confidence and expansion, right? And being full of resources and feeling like you've got a handle on things. And we started with the King of Wands. This is the King of Wands in his next step of, really getting a handle of his entire kingdom instead of, the King of Wands is looking for new possibilities and looking to start something new and being enthusiastic about it. And this is the Emperor breaking ground and foreseeing, overlooking his uh like the construction site of his new dream, right? With confidence and elation. So, guys, it's going to work out, is pretty much what I'm saying. So, let's get our advice. Yeah, we're done with tarot. We've got messages from the universe, 3 cards from messages from the universe. And we also have a soul truth coming. Hold on. Here we are. One soul truth, yes. Okay. All right. And a soul truth. Well, let's have one. Okay. I need you to get excited again. I need you to remember you're not in this thing alone. I'm working on your challenges. I've already assigned angels to you. So let go and let the stress let go. So let go and the stress. I think this is supposed to say of the stress. Let go of the stress and just trust me. I've got a pretty incredible ending in store. In fact, that's why you need to get excited again because the happy ending I've got coming is going to rock your world. This has come out quite a bit um, this year. which is very fitting because a lot of us are going through changes. Okay? So remember this when things seem difficult because they're not as difficult as it seems. If you didn't get something you really wanted at this time, if you feel stuck or feel like things are not going according to your plans, know that something bigger and better is coming. It's something filled with divine magic. It's something filled with divine magic, the star, that couldn't come into your life if you were to receive what you are asking for now, right? So everything in due timing. This is all about patience. If you find yourself constantly seeing reoccurring numbers or words, it's fabulous. It's a sign that you are being supported, cared for, and divinely protected by the universe. Beautiful things are about to happen to you. Fabulous. You see? What did I say? There's the star, the sun, and the emperor. Okay? Recurring numbers. Okay, we're going to come back to this card in a moment. On whom am I placing blame right now? Okay, so I think where's the 10 of, we have the 10 of swords here. 10 of swords. A person who blames others has not begun their lesson. A person who blames themselves has begun their lesson. It's about taking responsibility for your life and things that happen to you, right? A person who blames no one has finished their lesson. I love that. Today's soul action. Take responsibility on whom you are placing blame right now. Today, free yourself by releasing all victimhood, blame, and resistance. The Hermit goes very well with this too. And the Four of Swords, right? Because we're going to take a beat and assess our lives. Today, free yourself by releasing all victimhood, blame, and resistance. They don't belong where you are going. Only love and courage live here. Make a choice to do it, even if you don't feel ready. Listen to your heart, you will be led. Okay? So, Ten of Swords is definitely related to this, right? Where whatever has happened in our past, we're going to need to close out whatever negative energy that we're still carrying from them. Um, and I know that's something that I still work on. I've been through quite a bit in my life. In the past 10 years, and if we were to include the whole Pluto and Capricorn thing, um, for those of you who have seen your yearly readings, I talk about that a lot. The past 15 years have been very difficult, filled with karmic events, right? And karmic people as well, sociopaths and narcissists, and people with all kinds of character flaws, personality traits that are undesirable, like Machiavellian narcissists, that kind of thing. I've encountered them all, trust me. Psychopaths, ay. Okay? So, but, we need to remember that we go through things for a reason and we came across these people to learn something. And we are going to leave them with love and light and hope they find their path and even thank them for what we've learned from them, right? And of course, Ho'oponopono comes to mind, right? I do my own version of Ho'oponopono. I changed the order. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. So I'm not going to go through the whole Ho'oponopono thing. You can look it up, but and I'm going to eventually do a video on it, but I don't want to bog you down too much for that with that. But this is all about forgiveness and taking responsibility for whatever it is that you've been through, even if you didn't do anything wrong, right? Taking responsibility for the things that happen to you in your life are so freeing, right? And it helps you moving forward to not get yourself in those same situations again. It helps you recognize, say, that Machiavellian narcissist, right? And when you recognize them, you course correct so that you don't get yourself into a new karmic situation, right? This talks about all of that. Placing blame on these people does nothing for you at all. It only blocks your the things that you're supposed to learn from them, right? You're putting all the responsibility on the other person. Does nothing at all. So I'm not going to preach at you. Right, wait a minute. We're going to get back to the recurring numbers. Should we do angel number cards? Okay. Let's see what we get through angel numbers, right? Because it talks about constantly seeing recurring numbers. Guys, I see recurring numbers on a daily basis, and it never gets old. And I would say it started like really bombarding me about a year and a half to 2 years ago, where I'm telling you, like on a daily basis, there's hardly a day that goes by for me that I don't get at least 1 11 11 or 1 1 1 or 2 2 2 4 4 4 5 5 5. It's crazy. And every time I see one, I mark one down on my calendar. You should see my calendar. It's filled with angel numbers. Um, and then the things that have happened along with them. Wow. So pay attention to those numbers. I haven't used these in a while, so let me just very quickly. Zero out these cards. Okay. Let's see what we got. All three of them. Any more? No. Okay. So 12, 12. Okay, guys. Let me know if you guys have been seeing these numbers. 12, 12. Shift. Persistence, it says. Shift. Enthusiasm. Gratitude. Contentment. New experiences. Oh, happy day. An ample opportunity related to your life's purpose is just around the corner. Fabulous. Take immediate action once it pops up. Of course, a lovely partnership or an epic romance is also in the cards. Nice. But again, we're going to remember our friend Saturn, which is going to say don't leap so quick and assess things first. And of course, the Ten of Swords has taught us to do that, right? We're really going to utilize the tools that we've attained through the years to vet the people that come into our lives. Um, so we have 2112. It's up to you. Someone watching over you, good fortune, unforeseen forces, direction. Even if it seems like you're not making any meaningful progress, things are moving in the right direction. If you see this number, it's a sign that everything will work out in your favor and your dreams will come true soon. Nine of Wands goes very well with that. 1 2 3 4. Good luck. Spirit guides, progress, justice, structures, Saturn, systems, processes, conditioning, and rules, all Saturnian. You are on the right track. Someone from the other side has your back and encourages you to try your best. You will succeed. The star. Observe your surroundings and communicate clearly. Be sure that everything will fall in be sure that everything will fall to pieces. I don't think that's what they mean. Fall into place. Okay. So guys, I'm a Pisces rising, so I'm looking forward to this myself. And I've been feeling this for a while now that things are fixing to get better. Okay, Pisces? But there are some things that we're going to need to do first. That's all. Let's just take things as they come and enjoy the journey. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay? I love you, Pisceans. Dream your dreams and enjoy them. I love you guys. Love, light, and many blessings.